Hey traders, a bit later than usual, the cryptocurrency space has been going wild. Big dump, big bounce. It's now pitch black, but we're going to look at the broader market. So S&P 500, we had our 4-hour tightening range that we were watching into this morning. And this is what it was yesterday. We broke bearish overnight. No follow through. We opened up right under resistance. We broke resistance this morning. No follow through, and we are range bound. Not seeing a whole lot of action, and this is where a lot of people look for megaphones. When you break support with no follow through and then you break resistance with no follow through, it's a megaphone-like pattern. But essentially for me, it is just choppy, holiday, low volume action. The most notable thing out of today was that SPY dumped into the close. You can see this big high volume dump before this volume poured in. Again, it was a tiny volume day again. But a bear move at the end of the day. We're slowly recovering. And what does that do on the daily chart? It has us remaining cautious for the potential of a head and shoulders like pattern. So pulling up the futures chart again. And let's see if we can find a time frame where it stands out the best to us. It doesn't. I don't find a time frame that I like. So essentially, if the bears are going to prove anything to us, we have to break the low from a few nights ago, which would indicate clearly that weekly consolidation was underway. So that's what I'm watching. I'm not expecting clarity tomorrow on the half day. And then next week is even a shortened week with Friday, the new year, not trading. But I'm cautious up here for a number of reasons. And again, it's just all of our check marks that the bears have to fire off if we're going to believe that the bears can have any follow through. But they're all right there for the taking. The question is, can they grab it, or do the bulls continue to protect and play defense again? So again, the biggest factor for me, or one of the biggest, is the dollar. Can the dollar bounce? Inside bar, inside bar. If it breaks bullish and gets over 91.24, that would be the number one priority that a bear wants to see happen take place. So we're watching for that. Next top priority for me, if I were looking bearish, or certainly wanting to protect against any bearish action, this was the NASDAQ futures chart on the 12-hour time frame and the rising wedge from the video yesterday. You could say we just broke bearish, but you could also just very easily just tweak that line a little bit, and we're still within this pattern. If we're going to get follow through, we have to break this low from the other night, and that's down at 12,461. But again, this is a potential setup that has me cautious. This is showing me bull exhaustion, and we could easily roll over into weekly consolidation. Here's QQQ on the daily chart, and it essentially would be a daily high or low set, inability to break the all-time high, and then losing the daily high or lows, and that level on QQQ would be 303.60. Healthcare sector, weekly equilibrium is the most clear for me. The bulls need a daily trend change. So here's our low. Looks like we're topping out on the bounce. Have to confirm a daily trend change if we're going to say our weekly high or low is confidently set. But I do like the weekly time frame for clarity. And if we're not breaking 113.27 or 107.84 support, then not much is going on this chart. One of those two levels has to break. Otherwise, we're just range bound and trading sideways. Financial sector. Big day today for the bulls. 2811 was close to coming into play, and here we are breaking the high of the entire 2020 bounce. Again, no follow through over that break, but it was the highest price, and that is definitely notable to me. So that is a point in favor of the bulls. Biotech sector pulled back from the all-time high, but just looking for a daily higher low with tons of space for the bulls to form that higher low. Semiconductors to 1041. If that level breaks, we confirm a daily downtrend and we confirm further weekly consolidation. That's not going to have a significant impact on the broader market. This sector is not as important as the other sectors as far as the weight that they have in these ETFs and in the broader market, but it's worth paying attention to. If we were to see semiconductors break to 1041 before QQQ and the tech sector break their supports, that increases the odds that they will. Solar gap up for profit taking. If we break the low of today of 103.52 tomorrow, daily consolidation underway, tons of space for the higher low, and we will scout hourly oversold, which is not close. But if we see further daily consolidation, we'll keep an eye out for hourly oversold, looking for that daily higher low. And the VIX, trying to bounce on the 4-hour daily chart. It is a higher low. Anything above 20, excuse me. Anything above 2150 is a higher low. And then we would look for a lower high compared to 3150. So essentially, cautious. I am definitely cautious in this range. And it's the kind of scenario where I may just grab a short position as a bit of a hedge. And if we get a convincing bull break above this pattern, I would exit it. And as long as we're within this pattern, I would hold on to it to sleep a little bit better at night. If we break bearish and get this scenario, we just zoom out and we look for weekly higher lows unless there's massive bear volume and some kind of fundamental catalyst that the talking heads can really drive that fear home. We will just be looking for weekly higher lows. And if you look at QQQ, weekly chart, where was our last higher low? I would call anything above 266 a higher low, which means we can pull back 10% and still be holding that level pretty easily. So just words of caution. Be prepared for things to potentially shift very quickly in the other direction. Doesn't mean it will. Doesn't mean I'm betting bearish. Doesn't mean I'm selling all my longs. It just means I am protecting. And if we do break bearish from here, I will not be surprised in the slightest. And if we don't break bearish, I will not be surprised in the slightest. And that's a nice place to be, not being surprised by the market. So there's the dollar, multiple inside bars, 91.24, most important resistance. Gold with a bit of a bull day today, trying to build this daily higher low off of EMA 12 support. We had a nice falling wedge on the hourly time frame. I had a timely post this morning, first thing when waking up. Posting this wedge. And we ended up, you could view this a number of ways, but when I drew it this morning, it was this. And we broke bullish from that. So trying to get the daily bounce going, I would need to see the high of today. The candle just rolled over, but have to see 1879 break bullish to say, yes, our daily higher low is set, and be looking back up at the recent high of 1907. Silver had the same falling wedge on the hourly. And it obviously broke bullish as well. Slightly different shape, but not by much. Could have drawn this one a couple of different ways, but got over it. Same thing, building a base, daily EMA 12 back test, trying to set the higher low. Bulls need to break 2580 to set that daily higher low, and then we watch for a daily lower high compared to 2741. Miners daily inside bar today. If the inside bar breaks bullish, our daily higher low is set at 3503. And we shift our sights back to 3764. So solid bounce day on the metals, but we do need more follow through tomorrow to convincingly set those daily higher lows. Oil had a great 1 hour falling wedge as well. There were falling wedges all over the place. So this was oils. And again, falling wedges are just showing us bear exhaustion, where bear breaks don't get any follow through. We broke support by 9 cents straight into a bull rip, and some of that had to do with the inventory report as well. But big follow through, daily uptrend remains intact. Base of support, we had 45.88 and now 46.16. Anything under 49.43 is just a lower high. We would have to fail that level and then roll over to confirm a daily downtrend. And again, bears would want to see that check mark added to their list if they're going to have confidence. Natural gas finally topped out. Daily consolidation underway. Hourly RSI got crushed, 4-hour RSI approaching oversold. Now we scout the daily higher low, anything above 228.5, and the bulls will need to regain the 4-hour trend in their favor for a daily higher low to be set. On this bounce, we're just going to look for a lower high. Bulls are hoping for a big enough bounce to try and set up a trend change. If it's a weak bounce, it'll be a potential bear flag. So the 4-hour trend is going to help us pinpoint a daily higher low compared to 2285. So that's where we stand, cautious, heading into the new year. Trades today had some nice bounces. First thing, I was looking at Riot, which is a blockchain crypto name. And I was looking at yesterday's action, no hourly consolidation. Start of the morning, dump to 5-minute oversold. 5-minute oversold when looking for an hourly higher low after a big bull move. And made my first entry. I was live streaming. I forget my numbers exactly. I believe I entered at 1340s. I exited half. Might have been 1350s. Either way, I exited half to get my break even down to 1333 or so. So I believe I made my entry in the 1350s. And then I had a target of 5-minute EMA resistance, and I sold the second half in the 1420s. And that was my trade. We ended up with an equilibrium that broke bullish, didn't get followed through, and then got followed through. Tesla had a great bounce at the same point in time, but I had already chosen my horse. Tesla, same thing. What is the most likely scenario on the hourly? Big bounce yesterday, consolidation to start the morning. Anything above 614 is an hourly high or low. We know the bulls have not changed the hourly trend, and they have to do so to set the daily high or low. Looking for an hourly high or low compared to 614. 5-minute RSI crushed first thing this morning. It dropped down into the low 20s. V-shaped, massive bounce straight back to the high yesterday. And that was a beauty. That was obviously the winner in hindsight. Would have been better to play Tesla over Riot, but it was still a nice win on Riot. So again, longer term time frames aligning with shorter term time frames. Both of these plays scouting hourly higher lows and seeing 5-minute oversold conditions. Other than that, I had an end of the day trade, VFF, MJ stock. Actually, it was a midday trade. I noticed a number of things. Number one, that's a weekly bull flag. We've been watching that for a week or two. Number two, daily trend changed bullish by getting over 1041 resistance. That sets our weekly high or low and increases the odds of a weekly bull flag. Notice how I'm going on the longer term time frame and working my way down to get the complete picture and to get most likely scenarios. Aside from that, we recognize that in our first hour of trading, we had our 20-day average of volume in 1 hour. That tells me it's a big bull volume day. The bulls are proving this move with volume. So I then saw 5-minute consolidation. I'm looking for an hourly high or low. I want an entry on an hourly high or low. We have a bull break. We have a great weekly bull chart. We have a daily trend change. We have big bull volume. That's all I need to know. I want an entry on an hourly high or low. Traded sideways. We confirmed a 5-minute downtrend with no bear follow through. I made an entry here. I had another entry if $11 were to break. And we saw a beautiful follow through of 13% to the upside. Sold half at $12. And I still held half overnight with the hourly uptrend as my guide, knowing that we were just going to look for an hourly high or low next time we pulled back. So I do still have a position there, but that ended up being a nice little 3-day maker out of nowhere, which I was not expecting. Certainly not expecting 10% plus follow through after already being up 10% plus on the day. So that was a nice surprise. And that was my day. Solid little win there. And probably won't trade tomorrow on the half day. How many days left? Just counting down to the new year. When's the clean slate? 1, 2, 3 more, 4 more trading days. I'm going to put out a New Year's resolution video just like I did last year at some point, maybe over the weekend, maybe next week, just in terms of reviewing and some tips on reviewing yourself and looking back at things and preparation for the coming year, setting goals, yada, yada. Do good things. I'm out of content. I'll stick something on here at the end. Hope you have a good night. And happy holidays and stuff.
Yourself in the